I am Thomas Bowles, Ag Agent from Prince William County, and I am for the soil, for the future, and for the planet.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of For the Soil, a Conversation. I'm your host, Jeff Ishii. Mary Sketch Bryant and Eric Benfelt will be joining us in just a couple of minutes here, but I wanted to take just a quick opportunity to remind everyone of the website, forthesoil.org. Our goal is to constantly update the website with new resources for you to help enlighten the public and educate people on the importance of soil health, not only in our region, but all across the world. Also, we would love if you would share our new video. It's called We Are For the Soil, and it was produced by the Flip Charts and Social Impact Studios, and we greatly appreciate their efforts with this new video. If you haven't seen it yet, go to the website, forthesoil.org, scroll down, and there you will see it. A lot of effort, a lot of energy went into this video, and people are sharing it with elementary school kids and teachers. They're sharing it with their neighbors. It's a fun video, and it's called We Are For the Soil, produced by the Flip Charts and Social Impact Studios. Also, there are some new blog entries at the website, and one that I am particularly interested in. It is about a Virginia farmer by the name of Elisha Barnes. Elisha Barnes is a fourth-generation black Virginia farmer, and he is renowned around the world as a quality peanut grower. In fact, when the royal family wants peanuts, they order their peanuts from Virginia farmer Elisha Barnes. Very interesting story that has just been recently posted to the website. You'll see it right there on the blog entry at the menu bar right across the top of the page. Lots of resources, all for you to help enlighten and educate people about the importance of soil health. Let's now get to this episode of For the Soil, a Conversation. Welcome, everyone, to For the Soil, a Conversation. I'm your host, Jeff Ishii, and joining me, Mary Sketch Bryant with the Virginia Soil Health Coalition and Eric Benfelt with Virginia Cooperative Extension Community Viability. This is part two of a very interesting episode, in my opinion, a very intriguing person from the state of North Carolina. She is, well, Eric, if you would, please do a reintroduction.
Thank you, Jeff. We're very pleased to have Clarenda Stanley, better known as Farmer C of Green Heffa Farms, with us. And Farmer C is the owner and founder of that company. And what's important is it's the first Black-owned farm to achieve a certified B Corporation status. And we were talking a little bit about that in the last episode, and we welcome Farmer C to elaborate and give a little bit more background about how that came to be. Welcome, Farmer C.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So when I initially set out, as I shared in the last episode, we opted to incorporate Green Heffa Farms and really work on our brand. But I also recognized I am one of so few farmers in this country. We do not even have enough to have a quantifiable decimal point in the census, the agricultural census. There are just that few. And so for me, I already knew how I was going to grow. As I've shared, I consider caring for the land to just be part of who I am. However, I also knew that in order for my products to be more competitive in the natural wellness industry, which is a trillion-dollar industry, but I did my research. My undergraduate degree is in marketing. So I did my research and I saw that when you look at brands on the shelf, Black women-owned brands are very, very few, and those that exist tend to be in areas such as hair care products and more on the cosmetic side, not so much on the natural wellness side. So I wanted to be very strategic about the certifications that we pursued and wanted to ensure that these certifications help level up our brand identity on the shelf. And so two of those certifications, one we are currently pursuing, and that is certified organic through the USDA. And then the other certification was B Corp, which is administered by B Lab. So when I started out, I looked at the impact assessment. Basically, it's a tool that's used to determine where your business lands as far as in being in alignment with B Corp's high standards of performance. You know, they're looking at supply chain practices, input materials, how you show up socially, and your transparency as well. And so I went through the impact assessment and I was like, I don't think they designed this for a CEO like me. Like, this was designed for a particular CEO, perhaps one that needs to be incentivized to do the right thing. It has to make business sense for them. Whereas for my business, I'm building it from the ground up with our values as our cornerstones. So I went to B Lab and said, hey, I'm gonna get this certification because I want to see what y'all talking about in these rooms. Because I'll be honest, there's a lot of conversations going on in a lot of rooms, and from what we're seeing after the meeting and the things that are being implemented, I'm underwhelmed to say it lightly. So I connected with B Labs, fabulous organization that took it a step further and said, hey, you know, we're going to work together. We both came to the table and said, let's co-create something. Let's create something. And Andy Fife was there at the time. He's now moved on to other roles, white guy. So like, Andy, you and I, let's see what we can create so that it doesn't have to be so challenging for the next business owner like me. And so we were able to create the Level program, which has since that time successfully had more than 30 BIPOC women identifying owned businesses attain B Corp certification.
Very well said. We're talking today with Clarenda Stanley, better known as Farmer C. She is the Chief Executive Officer and operator of Green Heffa Farms. Once again, I want to remind our listeners of that web address. It's greenheffafarms.com, and Heffa is spelled Heffa, greenheffafarms.com. And C, I wanted to ask you about something you said on your website in the bio. You said that everyone has the ability. I love your words. You're obviously a wordsmith. You said everyone has the ability to cultivate wellness from the ground up, starting with the soil beneath their feet. Can you explain that?
Yes, I feel that we all can participate in cultivating wellness, which I think that if we prioritized as a society, a lot of our challenges would dissipate. We'd have less stress, better health outcomes. We treat each other better. We'd have more sustainable businesses, and we would have better soil. And no matter where you are, you know, some people think I live in an apartment or I'm renting or I don't have access to land. There is some soil somewhere near you that you can help cultivate, even if that is in containers. If you start with a few plants in your home, or you start to plant some mint in the windowsill, right? Tomato, whatever that is, you have the opportunity to start to care for it, because I feel that not only will you begin to have a greater appreciation for biodiversity, and you're gonna see the difference in that plant growing, or that mintiness. But you'll also begin to have a greater appreciation for the pollinators, right? You'll have a greater appreciation for the smell of fresh air. And I think that allows us all to participate in some way, because it is going to take us all. And I know that there are those who say, well, we didn't do it. It's the big companies and the polluters and the corporations. That may be the case, but the solution is going to require us all. And I think we can start where we are.
So, see, I know our listeners are always interested in hearing, what are you doing on your land for soil health right now? What are you experimenting with? What are some of the practices, approaches? How do you build that into the system?
Yeah, so the first thing is we are low till, no till, with the goal of being completely no till, and we're getting there. Our soils here are compacted clay, which is common in this part of the country. And of course, the fact that the land that I purchased was conventionally farmed previously, lots of plowing, lots of tilling. So that too definitely affected the soil's health. So for us, the first thing that we do is we try to focus on native plants, things that want to grow here, that are able to adapt in this growing, with our changing climate, et cetera. And we also are increasing the number of perennials that we're growing, so that we have that stability and consistency. We are also practicing mulching that is going to help with our water retention, with our pest management, weed management. We practice cover cropping. So we do utilize cover cropping here to really help with soil erosion, to increase our nutrient supply, of course, support biodiversity. The moving to no-tilling helps with carbon, sequestering carbon. And then we also have what's we consider to be boutique farming, meaning I grow high quality, low quantity. And so that allows us to have more space for, pollinator pockets, and really allowing wildlife corridors to exist on our property as well. And then lastly, I'll just say we also practice crop rotation as well.
And Farmer C, we know you also have a commitment to the 4 E's. If you could speak to the 4 E's that you promote, not only on your farm, but across the country, that'd be great.
Absolutely. So again, when building Green Heffa Farms, I wanted to ensure that our values were our cornerstones. And so the 4 E's is our framework for sustainability. And those E's represent our commitment to the environment, economic prosperity, education, and equity. And so as a corporation, those are the values in which we do business. And when we say economic prosperity, we're not just speaking of being profitable. Our farm sources intentionally from other farmers, so I'm able to ensure that our business is an economic catalyst in our community. We give philanthropically. We support through employees. I have a team. I hire contractors. I get buildings built and do things that help to, again, to stimulate and to be a catalyst economically in the community. Equity goes without saying. I am a Black woman in agriculture. And then there are those who will argue and say, well, why can't you just say I'm a farmer? It's like, because you can't remember I'm a farmer when it's time to pass out the money. So therefore, I have to remind you, hey. And the fact that there are so few Black women in farming, and it's clearly not because we're not intelligent and capable of doing it. So let's look at the other reasons. The environment, again, taking care of this land that we have stewardship over, both this property as well as the property that I have in Alabama, is very important. We, are very mindful in the packaging that we use and our waste production here at the farm as well. And then education, teaching my customers about herbs. There's so many people who are scared of these plants. And if you're not scared to drink a Coca-Cola, then you shouldn't be scared of some lemon balm, okay? So no slight to Coca-Cola. I hope they're not sponsoring. Kind of a slight though. But I'm just saying, really educating on the power of plants and how it is the healthcare system for the majority of the globe. And also educating aspiring beginning farmers, educating existing farmers on branding and how are you able to really create some noise in the marketplace in a good way.
Well, we want to thank you for taking some time. You're a busy lady. A lot of energy, a lot of passion. And I wanted to remind our listeners of your web address. It's greenheffafarms.com, and Heffa is spelled Heffa. You can learn about workshops that Farmer C conducts. You have herbal teas. You've got a lot of different products available on your web address. It's greenheffafarms.com. And once again, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Eric and Mary, we'll catch y'all on the next one.
Thank you so much.
For the Soil, a Conversation is made possible with funding support from the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation and the Agua Fund. Other partners include Virginia Cooperative Extension, U.S. Department of Agriculture's Natural Resources Conservation Service, Virginia State University, the Virginia Soil Health Coalition, and the Virginia Department of Conservation and Recreation. Views expressed on this podcast are those of each individual guest. To download a copy of this or any other episode, visit the website forthesoil.org. If you have a specific question about soil health, just contact your local extension office, your local USDA service center, or a Soil and Water Conservation District office. Music used during today's program was provided courtesy of the Flip Charts, all rights reserved. For the Soil, a Conversation is produced by On the Farm Radio in collaboration with Virginia Tech. I'm your host, Jeff Ishii.